enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you. Bump, 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 bump it up. Bump, 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 bump it up. Just bump it up. Look, bump it up. You came and get it drunk with a dame or shit it drunk. You came and get it on. More than 5 O's in your bank to get it on. Roll up like that thing can get it on. Like to fit it on. Came to get it on. Hold up, you wanna work that, twerk that. Let me in, let me hurt that, murk that. Till you gotta hurt back. Can't spit it out, boo, you gotta slurp that. Can't cut her after we doing it, wasn't worth that. Joey, I'm responsible for bringing dirt back. And we back, she at the bar style and she throwing it up. She drink a little hypno, throwing it up. But I'm only dealing with freaks that wanna cut mine. If you agree, and one nut can't go to get it played late night on BT Uncut. Do your thing, let me do my thing. I mean, do your thing, let me do my thing. Move that thing, mommy, move that thing. Come on, move that thing, mommy, move that thing. So do your thing, let me do my thing. Pump it up.
Welcome in. I hope you pumping it up. Happy Tuesday. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Grab your snacks, grab your beverages, and get ready to get into these trending topics and headlines. Listen, Joe Budden, he may only have one single. I know that's what people say. One hit wonder. Andy says maybe two. And you know Andy's always on theme. So we are talking about Joe Budden tonight. But let me really quick tell you about Pump It Up. Have you seen You Got Served? I know you've seen You Got Served, right? Listen, when this comes in and they are breaking it, look, I want to get my little crumping on and all of that. All of it. Oh, shout out to Joey B. We're going to get into Joe Budden making $20 million a year from his podcast. He shared exactly how he did it, the type of deals he cuts, and what he thinks the future of podcasting holds. So we're going to talk about it because, you know, everybody at this point has a podcast or a stream, and everybody's looking to get the dough. So why not hear from somebody that's getting the dough, right? We're going to get into those details. We are also getting into one Laverne Cox. Laverne has a one-woman show that she is putting together. And so she's been sharing little snippets and details about her life on social media. This particular story that she shared recently about her, well, I'll let her describe him, but her much younger boyfriend of 4 years who was a MAGA white cop. So social media is kind of up in arms about it. So we'll get into those details. And we are also talking about Basketball Wives. The VH1 hit show, we know it's on season, I want to say season 12. Season 12. And we know Jackie Christie is an OG, been there from the beginning. And in the episode that most recently aired Monday night, Jackie physically accosted her daughter on camera. So social media, of course, as always, they're actually on Jackie's side. And I fear I might be too. So we're going to get into those details and a whole lot more. We also have Nick Hamilton from Nitecast Media hitting us up, calling in. He's just fresh off of WNBA All-Star Weekend, so we're going to get a little details about that from him. But before, you know how it goes down. Before we get into all of that, you know, the rich flexes, all of the things, let's talk about what's buzzing around the net today. You know, little topics to keep you going. So, a video dropped from the south of France. You know, it is summertime. That's what the wealthy do. They go to Cannes, they go to the French Riviera, they do it big, right? Or if you're like Magic, you spend a month and a half on a yacht to get ready to celebrate your birthday. At any rate, one Lakers star, LeBron James, was spotted out with his business partner, Maverick Carter, as well as his lovely wife, Savannah, turning up to Kendrick Lamar way over in Cannes. Oh, and guess who else was there for the bop, making it happen? Lauren Sanchez Bezos. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez were also at said restaurant, and Lauren was up getting her groove on. Never forget that Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' now wife, was once, heavy in these LA streets. She was an anchor. I believe she was on Fox 11, KT TV. I think those are the call letters. And she also, was in the business outside. She was outside in the early parts of her life. She used to date Derek Fisher. She has a child with NFL Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez. So, seeing her get her groove on to Not Like Us, isn't that out of the ordinary? Also popping up this week for Mav and LeBron, they and the Clips popped out in Tyler, the Creator's new video called Stop Playing With Me. It's a bop. Kind of feeling it. I like Tyler. And, it's interesting. Like, when did that connection happen? And enough so that LeBron jumps in the video. I believe Tyler might have been on an episode of The Shop, but I thought that was an interesting little friendly hookup. So, shout out to them. We'll see if that causes anything further. And I know all you fans of the Power franchise, it's been officially announced. Origins, the story of Ghost and Tommy, when they meet Breeze and Kanan and Angela, has officially been greenlit for Starz. They're doing 18 episodes, which is unusual for cable shows at this point in time. I wonder if that's 2 seasons they're guaranteed. Just curious. Or maybe they're just going to do one extended season and break it up in parts 1 and part 2. We are unsure. We do know that I almost said Mekhi Phifer. Mekhi Curtis will be reprising his role as Kanan in the series. So looking out for that. And the last little bit, congratulations to actor Keith Powers. He announced on Instagram yesterday that he is 200 days sober. And he said that being in Hollywood, he would reach for a drink oftentimes because he would get anxiety about having to go out to Hollywood events and network and talk to people. And it just became habitual. And he decided that he didn't want that presence in his life. So big ups to him. When we come forward, we're going to get into this $20 million Laverne Cox MAGA boyfriend decision, plus more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
This is Secret Clinical dominating extra stinky stress sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant.
Ugh, I can't.
Secret Clinical with workout sweat.
Let's run another marathon.
And regular deodorant.
How much more?
Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better.
Stay fresher under pressure.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has work source centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So, of course, you know how this goes down. If at any point you want to jump into the conversation, 800-920-1580. Hit us up on all social media, KBLA 1580. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Download the app. Catch up on past episodes. Leave us a voice note. All of the good things, you know. And the YouTube chat, that's always bustling. They're in there getting busy right now. Shout out to them. So connect with us. Reach out. Join. Don't just be an observer. Be a participant. All right, let's get into these headlines. Now, you know, we talk a lot about podcast bros. We talk about how right now athletes are heavily into streaming, right? We've talked about how the streamers themselves, the youth, the Gen Zers, they're doing lots of challenges right now on Twitch. You know, these marathons, 72 hours, 48 hours. We saw Kai Cenat with his Streamer University. There are other versions or other attempts to replicate that in some form or fashion. But the main idea behind all of this is that your views are worth dollars, as they always have been. And the medium may have moved, but it still requires talent, people, and an interest. And so far, Joe Budden is one of the tops when you talk about podcasting. You know, some people refer to him as the Podfather because Joe started podcasting, about 10 years ago. Now, we know podcasting goes back much longer than that, but you know, Joe would be on YouTube very, very early doing his own little reality shows. I don't know if you remember, that's how he and Tahiri got popular on YouTube, basically showing out, showing their life. So he's been in the game for a long time. He started back with Complex maybe about 10 years or so ago. And in a recent interview with the New York Times, Joe was open about fumbling a couple of things, you know, and where he is at now, his positioning. So I believe this started because Joe posted a screenshot of his Patreon account onto social media. Now, he had the amount blurred, but you know, we're all detectives now. That is our second line of work, right? So people made it out, and basically let's just say Joe Budden is collecting a lot of cash, right? Baby, a lot. So the screenshot showed 30 plus million visits to his Patreon, right? And the enhanced image shows that that is $900,000 a month that he was taking in. But wait, that wasn't even the biggest flex. Turns out he has 70,000 paid Patreon subscribers. He makes $1.4 million a month in subscription revenue, and he is projected to make $20 million this year. Even if you think there's some cap in that rap, I still believe that the numbers are pretty high. Pretty high. And that doesn't include merch, YouTube ad revenue, or content licensing. And unlike a lot of other podcasters who partner with networks like iHeart, Wonderly, etc., Joe Budden is fully independent. His company handles all of its own advertising. They employ 30 plus contractors, including his 6 co-hosts, who collectively, now some may question this, collectively earn $1.5 million per year, right? That's the whole crew, though, not individually, just saying. Oh, and they also are in the process of buying the New Jersey studio space that they shoot the podcast in for $2 million after renting it for years, even though residents aren't happy with them being there and have complained about noise, yada, yada, yada. So here's the conversation. Joe Budden basically gave a blueprint for creators to get the bag, right? And it's about independence and freedom. But realistically, in 2025, with the oversaturated podcast market, I'm just going to say it, is it still possible to get into the game and make real money? Maybe not Joe Budden money, but real money. Do we believe this fact? Because when you partner with a Spotify or whatever, Spotify, remember that's who Joe Budden originally did the deal with, but he was unhappy with the terms and he felt like they wouldn't let him get in the game and get any equity, no stock options, no future guarantees. They wanted him to take all of the content off of YouTube, a bunch of other things. And so when there were renegotiations happening a couple of years ago, they allegedly offered Joe $44 million for, I think it was something like 3 or 4 years, and now he's making $20 million a year. He has overhead, but he says the overhead, relatively speaking, is pretty contained. So we saw Shannon Sharp bust out with Club Shay Shay last year, hit record highs. Oh, by the way, the Cat Williams video is at 90 million views, if you were wondering. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So just kind of wondering if you think that it is possible for a degular Joe, right, talented, funny, creative, to get anywhere close to the pie. Again, I'm not talking 20 million. I'm talking maybe $1 million a year, $500,000. Do you think that can realistically happen without some star power behind it? Andy?
No.
You said no.
100%
no conversation.
No. I've been at this radio thing, and I know radio is different from streaming, but they're
connected at this point.
They're connected. I just, the amount of people that I want to do a podcast, right? The amount of people that I've seen in, other platforms, and I may even say even here sometimes, you know what I'm saying? They come in here, eyes wide open, excited, right? Thinking that they're going to get a bag.
And
but
then they get discouraged.
They get discouraged. Real life, you guys got to understand, there's a reason why radio stations have a sales department, right? They focus on getting the bag for the radio station all day. That's their 9-to-5 gig. So I think a lot of people that come in the game wanting to do a podcast and is hoping to get paid is not realizing that, you're going to have to go ahead and do your own marketing too. You're going to have to go out and do your own networking and build your own relationships too. You know what I mean? So for anybody that just any willy-nilly just thinking that they can come ahead and just, crack open the mic and just start talking and get paid, Nah, I think what helped Joe Budden is the fact that he
was early.
He was early in the game, and he had a little bit of celebrity going on.
He definitely
That's
had a fan
always
base.
going to be a little bit helpful. And then you could say that he took some bumps across the road to even get to this point.
He did.
He was on what's the Everyday Struggle with academics was very popular, and then I believe he was on Revolt with Remy Ma and all them. I think it was called like State of the Union. So it definitely took his time to get to this point, but I don't think anybody could just jump and just get to where Joe Budden is at. Nah, you got to pay him some dues.
I mean, even I know people talk about, there's money on YouTube, and there is, but it's relatively speaking, sometimes they're going to make you work hard to get those subscribers and views, and it is not out the gate cake. So listen, shout out to Joe Beasy, though, and everyone that is in the podcast broadcasting game, everyone that is being independent and taking on their own media empire, if you so desire, because there's no greater time than right now, actually. So listen, we have Nick Hamilton of Nitecast Media on the line. Welcome in, Nick. How are you this evening?
Doing good, in the back.
In the
back of this arena.
Yeah, I know. Nick he's been on the go. He's in Vegas right now. What are you in Vegas for, Nick?
Big Ten Media Day, and then Aces Dream tonight. So BG against Asia. Gonna be fun.
There it is right there. So Nick is fresh off of WNBA All-Star Weekend. And since we were talking a little bit about streaming, I want to ask you, Nick, one of the biggest hits of the weekend, right, was Stud Buds. Courtney Williams and is it Natasha? Oh, my God. What is her teammate's name? I just lost it.
Talking about,
not Natasha. What's her last name?
I know you're talking about.
She plays for the Lynx.
I know you're talking about.
Yes, Natasha Heidman.
Yeah, see.
So listen, they were on Twitch. They did a 72-hour challenge. They live streamed the entire WNBA All-Star Weekend. It was a hit. They had Kathy Engelberg, the WNBA commissioner, dropping it to Nuck If You Buck. They had Caitlin Clark on there. One of them was, spitting game at Angel Reese, jokingly, maybe. But it was a good time. Nick, did you check out any of the Stud Buds, or did you see them around when you were in Indy?
I saw them from afar. One of the spots I went to, but I didn't get close up on it because I didn't want to be on the stream like that. Not that they was gonna put me on it anyway.
I mean, you never know. I saw, people were getting crossed up in the stream all day. It happens.
So I was like, but I mean, it was a good concept. I thought it was brilliant of them to do it. I mean, because who streams the WNBA All-Star game like that? You know what I mean? So I thought they took advantage of an opening, much like you talked about Joe Budden early on, taking advantage of an opening and capitalizing on it. And that's what exactly what Stud Buds did. They took advantage of an opening and they capitalized on it, and it was a success for them.
So what was the energy like this weekend at All-Star? And I also want to know, I love the shirts that they came out with. The WNBA, always outspoken, always at the forefront. I think that I wonder if it's going to change as far as their spacing, because they've always had a little bit of distance kind of flying under the radar where they could, put their messages out and it be loud, but it wasn't as spotlighted as things are now, because there were even some people responding negatively to the message. They're not asking for NBA pay. They are asking for a greater share of the basketball revenue, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of intelligent people that understand, what is being, talked about or what is being asked about. There are a few, idiots, whether it be media pundits or not, trying to push a certain narrative that they want NBA money, nobody watches the league, blah, blah, blah. When these the same idiotic media pundits haven't watched a game, haven't come to a game, don't even pay attention to the game, but yet they be the first ones to criticize the game. So to me, it's a lot of nonsense. It's a lot of misinformation, which is really, really dangerous, because it makes people that are trying to be informed be misinformed because they listen to some of these media pundits. So I think the shirts were very apropos to what they're doing. I thought that it couldn't have been a bigger stage than All-Star Weekend. And that was the perfect time to do it, especially during the All-Star game. And to the point where when I was going through the stands, fans were holding up signs talking about pay them. When Kathy Engelbert was announcing the MVP of the game to Nafisa Collier, they were chanting, pay them, pay them, pay them. So to have that fan support, even when I spoke with Kelsey Plum, when I spoke to Kelsey Mitchell, just about having that fan interaction and the support, it went over in droves, and to the point where, now they're slanging shirts to help support their cause. And I'm all for it. I'm on board with it. I mean, I think whatever the number is that they're asking for is definitely better than the 9% that they're currently getting, which is absolutely absurd. So I think their messaging is definitely on time, and I think they have to be consistent and continue that message and continue to put the message out there and continue to educate people about what they're really doing and what they're trying to do. And like you said, they're not trying to get NBA money. They're not trying to get LeBron or Steph Curry money. They're trying to get what they have rightfully earned and rightfully deserve, point blank.
Indeed. When we come forward, we're going to have more trending topics and headlines. Just as a side note, neither the NBA or the NFL were, when they were at this point in time, they weren't profitable either after 25 years or whatever the case may be. So I think that is an important note to add to this. When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe.
Get it? Nope. Think about it. The game is bad, player. Ain't it bad, player? Don't worry, Joey, you change it back, player. Might have heard me spitting with Kane and bad, player. I got it set chords and bring it back, player. Bang and clap, player. Front man no longer playing the back, player. Playing is that, player. 808 bump and bang the track, player. Want my second win, change the back, player. Jump off one man.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is blaming sanctuary city laws for keeping New York City from alerting ICE about 2 undocumented suspects who shot a border agent.
We are not allowed to coordinate with federal authorities unless the person is convicted of a crime and after he served his time.
Both had criminal records and deportation orders. Border Czar Tom Homan blames city policies. Bill Cosby is remembering Malcolm Jamal Warner after his death at 54, calling him, quote, a great studier, end quote, and a mentee he stayed close with. Warner, who played Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, died Sunday while swimming on vacation in Costa Rica. And Bernice King, daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., is calling for the release of Jeffrey Epstein's files after thousands of pages tied to her father's death were made public. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Some good news in Eagle Rock on the 2 southbound. This is coming up on Colorado. An earlier crash that had only one lane open now has a couple of lanes blocked, and that's the 2 right lanes that are blocked. Still a messy drive off of the 134, and it looks like they hope to have everything wrapped up by about 7 o'clock tonight. Let's also take a look at Pasadena. Earlier crash cleared 210 westbound Michelinda. Delays are still recovering out of Arcadia from Santa Anita Avenue. And Scirocco Summit, this is that wreck on the 10 westbound. Coming up on Box Springs, all lanes remain off limits due to an earlier crash.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Rams conducted their first day of training camp today at Loyola Marymount University. The first open practice for fans will be Thursday. This is the first time in 8 years the Rams are starting a training camp without Cooper Kupp. The All-Pro receiver signed with Seattle as a free agent. The Rams have a pretty good replacement for Kupp. They signed 12-year veteran Devontae Adams, a 6-time Pro Bowler. Before signing veteran point guard Chris Paul on Monday, Clippers management asked James Harden if he was okay with Paul joining the team. Harden said he was cool with it. The Clippers wanted to be sure. Harden and Paul were teammates for 2 seasons with the Houston Rockets from 2017 to 2019. There were reports that Harden and Paul did not get along at times because both wanted to be the dominant ball handler. Apparently, things are all good today. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yeah. Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
1455 Frazee, San Diego. CordellCordell.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Batman Scoop, Brooklyn Clan, Timberland, Batman Scoop, Brooklyn Clan, Timberland. Whatever I say, y'all gotta do. Whatever I say, y'all gotta do. Whatever I say, y'all gotta do. Y'all too.
Oh, Lord, guess who's coming? Timberland, a.k.a. Phil Drummond. Who gon' get it crunk like me, Timberland? Scoop, a.k.a. Fat Man. We guaranteed to make the party people bounce. Fellas say, oh, girls say, ah. Looking at the cornrows up in the club. Girl, don't be bashful, girl, back it up. Throw it, girl, like it's potent, man. Shake that fast as you can. White girl, shake it like you burning from a suntan. My dog, grip it, grab it like it was a soda can. What you talking about holding back? Better get on the dance floor, drop it like it was a Cadillac. What you talking about cutting the slack? Girl, you better bend that back. Where my girls roll deep in the club. Can't wait to hit the bar and get effed up. With my dogs who got more than 100 bucks. Can't wait to freak one of those big old bugs. Before we start to
welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
First begin to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in.
Taking that oxygen and then release it. I'm telling you. You Got Served is a cult classic, in my opinion, right? I'm not saying it's the best ever. I'm not saying it's all of the things. It just really captures that time period. The dancing, the energy, it's just one of those things.
Especially being out here in Los Angeles.
Man.
You Got Served, I think, was it was after the movie Rise, if I'm not mistaken. Remember the movie Rise?
Tommy the Clown, shout out to them.
Let me tell you something. It was definitely a movement. I was in high school at the time, and I remember nutrition, lunchtime, somebody's busting out with the speakers. If it was a basketball game, somebody was coming through with a whip. They got the speakers banging. They either banging that one, they banging Lights, Camera, Action from Mr. Cheeks. I mean, it was a good time, man. That was a time when you would go to the club, you would go to parties, and you would see a group of men in a circle dancing amongst themselves.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't looked, questionable.
No, they were competing.
It was a good time.
It absolutely was. Welcome back in, Nick Hamilton from Nitecast Media. We were talking a little bit about the WNBA All-Star Game and all of the things. So, Nick, really quickly before we move to the next topic, what were your overall impressions of the weekend? And do you think the W will receive that pay bump? Because they just got a pay bump a few years back, yes?
Yeah, but I think also, too, when you look at what the league has been doing in the last 5 years, I mean, viewership is up, merch is up, advertisers are up, and plus they just expanded to 3 new teams, which cost an excess of $250 million apiece. So the money is there. Like I said, whether that number be 40%, whether it's 30%, whether it's 50-50, only they know. But I'm saying whatever it is, I think it's going to increase. The biggest concern is them, the lockout, because they built up so much momentum. You don't want to hurt that momentum by locking out. And I'm talking about like when you start dialing back games out of the 44-game season because you all are locked out and can't come to a resolution. That's when it becomes very concerning. Right now, I think they're just in negotiations, and I think, like I said, they got to stay 10 toes down. No matter what, they got to stay united and have to stay 10 toes down like a football cleat on the field. If they don't, this is going to be all for none.
I agree with that. So do you think that because you've been to the W's All-Star before, how did this year compare to previous ones?
I think this one was good, but I think it was a little bit – it took a little bit of air, just a slight tad bit of air because Caitlin Clark didn't play with her hometown and her home team. I think if Caitlin would have been able to play, I think it would have been a little more, umph to it, so to speak. But I think they did a hell of a job. I think, people were there to support there were people from out of the country that flew out there to support the WNBA All-Star Game. So I think it's growing. I think it continues to grow. I mean, possibly next year it could be in Las Vegas again. So it remains to be seen. The parties were all popping. Athletes were, all around the city. When I was coming in from the airport, I ran right into Candace Parker and her family. So, everybody was out and about for sure. Mixing and mingling and doing what they need to do at WNBA Live, which is a fan interactive experience that they have for 3 days for the fans to come out and see their favorite players in different activations. So I think they did a good job.
So I saw Tyrese Halliburton. What is his last name? Halliburton. So, okay, I was right the first time. Then I came back with some other stuff. We don't know. We'll move past it. So listen, I saw him on the Stud Bud stream. What other NBA players were in the building supporting them?
I didn't see a whole lot of NBA players. But they could have been all around. But like I said, Bam Adebayo was there.
Of course.
Pau Gasol was there.
Bam don't count. He's there supporting his boo.
But Pau Gasol was there. Laker legend. I think I'm sure there was a lot. Like I said, there was probably other NBA players that were out there. But the thing about it is the people support it, and that's what you want. The people support it.
That's right.
Common and J Hud were out there. Leslie Jones, who's an avid, WNBA supporter. She's always at the LA Sparks games. She was out there. So there were a lot more stars, I think, and entertainers, which is great to see too, because you get a different, viewpoint and a different genre of people that continue to support. So it was cool. It was real cool. I mean, they had a comedy show out there, during All-Star Weekend with Cedric the Entertainer and a few other comedy acts. So I think they're doing their best to try to cross over and get into different lanes.
Become of the culture. Nick Hamilton of Nitecast Media, thank you so much for tapping in. We appreciate the on-the-ground POV as always. Make sure you guys go follow him. Nick, where can they find you?
On Instagram at the NH Experience, on Twitter at Nick Hamilton 213, and catch me on YouTube. Subscribe to me on YouTube at youtube.com/@Nitecast Media TV. I need some subs, y'all. Show your boy some love.
Hit him up. All right, Nick, thanks so much for taking time to call in. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
I'll holler.
All right, so Laverne Cox, we all know she got her start in most people's active memory on Orange is the New Black, although she was a contestant on I Want to Work for Diddy. Let's not forget that. But she, as I mentioned earlier, is coming out with a one-woman show, and so she's been dropping tidbits about her life on social media. And this latest revelation has got some up in arms because they feel as though her choice in a mate is her turning her back on the struggle. So when we come forward, we'll play you the clip and we'll get into the details and have a bit of a conversation as to, in these current times, and we've been, they're far worse now, but we've been here for about the last few years or so, right? Right. Is it okay, for lack of a better term, to click up with your political foe with the way things are going down currently? So we'll hear what she had to say and get into that.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase offers tips for the local business owners in 2025. Small business landscape is ever-changing, and the Los Angeles market is no exception. A startup or legacy business, revisiting your mission statement and recalibrating offerings can renew opportunities for growth and innovations. Programs like Chase for Business Coaching for Impact gives entrepreneurs access to expert guidance, helping you streamline operations, strategize your growth, and navigate complex challenges. Businesses with a clear sense of purpose can navigate any challenge effectively, but also build stronger customer loyalty. Visit chase.com/coaching for impact for more information. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase. You have cancer. The 3 words no one wants to hear. Of the cancers that impact our community, lung cancer is the most dangerous. More people succumb to lung cancer than colon, breast, and prostate combined. Black men are 12% more likely to develop lung cancer, and cases for Black women are rising. Early detection and comprehensive treatment is the best way to beat this dreaded disease. Providence is a research leader in multi-cancer early detection, offering blood tests that identify fast-spreading cancers that don't show symptoms in early stages. The Providence Los Angeles Integrated Network Cancer Program determines best protocols for each patient, interacting with specialists who share experiences, perspectives, and new findings specific to each case. With over 1,000 board-certified physicians, including top oncologists, surgeons, radiologists, and nurse specialists, Providence delivers whole-person care that understands your culture, values, preferences, and priorities. So, if you hear the words, "you have cancer," all you need is faith and providence.org/cancer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions.
The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So we were talking about Laverne Cox and her recent revelation. Let's hear what has got the people, the internet, social media in an uproar.
Ex-boyfriend, when we met 5 years ago at the height of the pandemic, he was 26, I was 48. He is blonde hair, blue-eyed, MAGA Republican voter who is a New York City police officer. We were madly in love. I did not develop any of his politics. I still have my own. Yeah, my ex-boyfriend was 22 years younger than me, hot MAGA Republican New York City police officer. Yeah.
So, I mean, brief and not a lot of detail, but key points. Hot white guy. You know that got people outraged. And the fact that he was a MAGA police officer. Like, there are just so many things wrapped up in that to be dating a trans woman. You know, not even going to talk about the 22 years. I'll let y'all handle that. And they were in the comments. So many things. But again, my question is, in these current political times, we know in the past it was politics and religion are the two topics that were considered no-nos that people really didn't touch, especially in social gatherings or certain environments and setups, because it can be controversial, right? And so with where we currently are, with all the things that this administration is doing, all of the things we see happening, are you comfortable when there are obvious cultural differences, lifestyle point of views that are more sharply into focus at this current time, with people choosing to say, nah, I'm going to ignore your politics and it's just about me and you, baby. I mean, cool, but can we afford to take that attitude now? And again, let me be clear. I am not saying what Laverne should or should not have done. That's her business. That's their business. But just as a general rule, are you comfortable with dating someone who you know is a MAGA Republican, but not getting into the nuts and bolts of what that actually means? Andy?
Are they still together?
No. It was a fling. She said they were together for like about 3 or 4 years.
Exactly. I don't even know why it's even an outrage. It looks like it was good sex for them, and that's all it was. So I don't even know why she even emphasized the fact that, you know, this person was a MAGA supporter. I mean, I guess, I don't know if she wanted clicks or whatever, but what does it matter? You know? You're black and trans, like, I wonder what those conversations were like. But you know what it sounds like to me? It was a lot of fetishism going on.
For both?
Maybe. I really don't know what Laverne Cox's flavor is.
The reason why I said maybe for both, I don't know what her flavor is either, but there were people that were very much in the comments like, how many times is she going to tell us he was young, white, blonde, blue-eyed, and hot? They were hot about those repeated comments, and they felt that she was sort of selling herself out because of a fetish, per se. Or just because he's hot.
Selling herself out, like in what way?
I mean, this is a young Republican cop, you know? She met him in 2020, she said during the pandemic. That's George Floyd times. And so,
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. Just things hit differently. A MAGA cop says, and you're a black trans woman. There's so many things under that do not match up politically with that combination. And again, people do what they want. They always have. But in these current times, I don't know. Or if you do, you can share what you want. I'm going to always say these type of things to make sure people are clear, because sometimes they're not. But is it the best thing to share with us? Because it changes people's viewpoint of you at times.
And she said this on social media, right?
She did. She put up a video. Yeah.
Just like, who was we talking about yesterday? We talking about somebody yesterday.
Tyrese?
Was it Tyrese? Tyrese, and I was saying, who was it? He was just talking too much. He was dissing Ice Cube. Aries Spears.
Oh, Aries Spears, yeah.
Aries Spears. Like, I think this is a case of maybe just talking too much. You don't need to share, you don't need to share that. What were you trying to get off by sharing the fact that you dated a young white boy?
Well, she does have the one-woman show coming up. That's why I emphasized that. So maybe it was to drum up interest in that.
Fair enough.
But
she got it.
She got it, but she's putting herself in a line of fire. Maybe not.
Fire
some people don't care. Just, the people. They. Like DJ Khaled. They don't want you to win.
The comments that you saw online, were they coming from us or were they coming from all over?
I really don't know. I didn't really, it was, I would say it was probably a little mixed, but,
Because, one thing I do know, and I think sometimes, we might need to, not push back so much. That whole idea of opposites attract, I guess I'm not surprised to a degree. You hear this all the time. Like, if I was to ever hear Dr. Umar swimming in the milk,
you wouldn't be surprised.
I low-key would not be surprised.
I expect the unexpected with everything now. I think that is one of the main things that we've learned over these past couple of years. But I don't know. It's just interesting that with as heavy as things are coming down, you're just not going to discuss it at all.
I think some people probably felt like, you should have represented yourself. Represented your skin tone in that situation. But hey, once again, not everything needs to be shared.
We shall see. So listen, Forrest Harrison in the chat says, it's okay for you and your mate to have different political views. However, this whole MAGA movement is something totally different. It's not based on anything political, just racially, mean-spirited. Forensic Accountant says the thirst was obvious. Fahima says, it just goes to show MAGA is spit. Not spit, but spit. And as for Cox, she said it was the past MAGA hadn't revealed themselves fully back then. Okay. All right. I guess we could ride with that. Here's one thing that I forgot to mention. And I don't know, this is going to be a weird transition. Just ride with me for a second. Rest in peace to Ozzy Osbourne. We know that he came to prominence in the 70s, heavy metal, but he became beloved to a generation through the Osbournes on MTV back in the day, where they were one of the early reality TV celebrity families that got up in the mix. So he passed away. And so we just want to send condolences to him. We keep you in the mix of all of the things. Okay. Speaking of reality TV, Basketball Wives, as I mentioned, is in season 12. The show premiered in 2010 in Miami, then had an LA spinoff. They then combined them both. So it's just Basketball Wives, not Miami, not LA, just Basketball Wives. And Jackie Christie, one wife of Doug Christie, has been in the mix from the very beginning. We know OG Jackie Christie back in the early 2000s when Doug was with Sacramento playing. We can't forget Jackie running across the court with her purse to go bop Rick Fox in the head when he and Doug got into it a little bit on the court during the playoffs back in the day. Jackie's always been a wild one. You remember the photo shoot with Doug on a dog leash. You remember that Doug was not allowed to speak to females. She didn't want him talking to female reporters, so on and so forth. They have 2 children. Jackie has an older daughter, but they have 2 children together. Well, Jackie's daughter, Chantel, was featured on earlier seasons of Basketball Wives, but reintroduced this season. Chantel has a child with a basketball player. I believe he plays for the Timberwolves. And they have a complicated relationship. On an episode that aired, they've been having problems all season. This season is the first one. Chantel's back. And on an episode last night, Chantel has kind of been pushing Jackie's buttons all season. They had a sit down, and Chantel was being a little lippy. Granted, she is an adult, a mother, all of the things, but that's still your mother. And she's been on TV kind of playing her mom out publicly. And fans kind of aren't here for it. On last night's episode, they got into an altercation and Chantel pushed Jackie. So Jackie slapped her, punched her. Remember, Doug Christie is a coach with the Sacramento Kings. Now, granted, Jackie has been on this show for the last 15 years. We've seen their antics. We know of their antics in the past. But is it okay? And I don't even know if I should frame it as okay, but what are your feelings about, we see family drama play out on reality TV, on social media, day in, day out. But when it comes to fisticuffs, even if it's the emotion, do you think that that will have a backlash on Doug and his professional standing? And are we at a point, and I don't know if we'll ever reach that point, where we are a little frustrated, tired over seeing women. Now, granted, it wasn't an all-out brawl. Production did jump in, and it was just a bop to the face and kept it moving. But when is it going to be time for us to put down that aspect on reality TV? Zeus Network thrives off of it. Totally different situation, I understand. Those are young girls, but these are women. So when we come forward, we'll get more into that and of course, more trending topics and headlines.
Mommy, shake it like you care for me. You know I like it when you do that little dance for me. Mommy, I'm just trying to get you in my room. Shake it like you care for me. You know I like it when you do that little dance for me. Mommy, I'm just trying to get you in my room.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Some civil rights leaders are slamming the release of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. assassination files. Reverend Al Sharpton called it a distraction from President Trump's refusal to release Epstein files.
I think this is as absolutely outrageous as one can imagine, to do this to Dr. King's family who suffered so much.